Hello, my friends. Hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful souls, beautiful empaths, all the guys on my page. Guys, you most welcome back to yet a new edition of the Empath Exodus, and the awakening of the Super Empath. Now, this is your boy Desmos as always, guys, and I just decided to do something different today to see if I can get the really clear picture of the full screen of this video, see how it goes, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we'll see how the upload will go. But anyhow, you're most welcome to the video, and tonight I'm going to talk about the exact events that unfolded when I was awakening. My awakening journey, the very first stage is what was happening when I first of all, the few last days towards my awakening and what exactly happened after when I awakened. So I'm going to discuss like the experience I had during my spiritual awakening, and those things I experienced myself, like on a physical and a spiritual level, because I know so many people out there, they are awakening, and there's all this global massive awakening going on around the world, and so many people are awakening, and some people just don't know what is going on. They're having a lot of questions. So I might want to give some light on this issue and point out some points out there loud and clear. Now, guys, you always know the drill. If you're new to this page, I talk about relationships. I also talk about spiritual awakening. So if you're new to my page, you can always like, share, and subscribe. And if you're a returnee, so if you've been with me all along, guys, you all appreciate it. And anyhow, you can always still like, share, and subscribe, and let the content get out there, and let's share together. I love you all, guys, and you all appreciate it. Now, guys, let's go into this subject. Now, when I was awakening, guys, we need to know something. A few days, it could have been like between 3 to 5 days before my awakening. I was struggling with physical symptoms. Now, for me, the physical symptoms that I got before I got awakened, the physical symptoms were more of migraines. I got out of migraines. My head was like very heavy, and I was feeling very big headaches. I was having very deep headaches, and I couldn't sleep. I was having all this insomnia. I was having a lot of anxiety. I was very anxious in that time, because actually at that time I was also going through a breakup. So it's like I was going through that breakup period. So the period whereby you guys are like splitting, and then it's like you're not yet left the relationship, but you're still in there. So you're like struggling with the relationship towards the end. So there was a lot of things happening in my life. So the physical symptoms, like I've said, I experienced migraines in those days, the 2-3 days prior to my awakening. I experienced migraines. I experienced also physical symptoms, like I had rashes, like there were like physical visible rashes all over my body. You know what I mean? It is something what looked like more like a fungus. You know what I mean? These fungal infections. And I remember it scared me very much, and I remember running to the doctor like 2 or 3 times, and I just didn't know what was going on. My whole body was like patching up everywhere, like I was having all these rashes, like all over the body. You know what I mean? So I didn't know what it was at that time, but later on, when I got deeper into the awakening, that's when I realized that actually those were just like the physical symptoms that show up, because usually what I learned that also is that the body is detoxifying. So when your body is detoxifying spiritually, it is also detoxifying as well on the physical level. So definitely you're going to see some of those signs, which might include migraines, which might also include like rashes. You might have rashes. Some people are my own personal journey was rashes, like basically physical rashes all over my body, like the chest and the back area, and then like things which look like fungal infections. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really a fungal infection, because at the end of the day, when I went to the doctors and they checked this whole thing, they noticed that there was nothing like a fungal infection. Like, I mean, the body was just manifesting all sorts of rashes that look like fungal infections. So on my exact day of awakening, which I found out later that actually I was having an awakening. I didn't know that time that I was having an awakening. But the physical symptoms still you will experience is like you will experience something like you will feel something dissolve out of your body. You know what I mean? You will feel a something physical. Like, for example, you might have been going through some kind of a trauma, You might have been going through trauma, like whereby you've been traumatized, whether you've been having some a long time in a deep coma state in hospital, like you've been having a near-death experience, or maybe you've been having a very tough decision. Maybe you're ending a relationship, or probably you're ending a marriage or something like that. So you're going to realize that there is something that is going to evaporate out of your body, and you're going to stop feeling pain. It is going to be that kind of feeling whereby you will think that actually you do not feel anymore. You cannot feel your body. Because I remember myself when I was touching myself all over the body, I wouldn't feel my body in that time. It took me like 10 minutes. That process, what I can call the switch, the time when the switch went off, it took me about 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So I felt a very deep sensation of things leaving my body. All this pain that was embodied in me, you know, everything was just like evaporating out of the body, you know, and I was just starting to, I felt very light, and I felt very free, I felt very comfortable. And at the same time, also in that same period, I experienced what I call, I had a very deep sense of calmness, whereby I very, very deeply became very calm, and I realized that actually, whatever was going on in that time of my relationship, whatever was going on, actually, I was not resenting anymore. I was happy with it, and I was going to move on with it. I was ready to move because I felt that actually my body and my spirituals, my emotional level and spiritual level and physical level, I was actually ready to go and ready to move on with my life. So I was very, very confident about leaving the relationship. So it's something like, I think it was something to do with my ego, because I realized that my ego was like, I was getting rid of my ego. My ego was like all of a sudden dissolving just in one instant. You know what I mean? Just in one blink of an eye, my ego was dissolving, and all my ego was, you know, because always, you know, sometimes, you know, we hang on in those relationships most of the time because of our egos. The egos are telling us you cannot leave, you have to stay there because, you know, you don't have anywhere to go, you know, you have to hang on. Plus, so we always keep on hanging on those kind of, sometimes those toxic relationships, and sometimes it's always because of our ego, and we just feel that we cannot move on. What will people think about us? What will the families think? But that time, that exact moment when I had my awakening, I felt like everything was gone, and all of a sudden I was calm. I was like, okay, so maybe it's okay for me to go. Maybe I'm happy when I go, and I was feeling like there was no resentment in my heart. All the pain that I used to feel previously, the pain was gone. I was feeling very calm. I was feeling very easy with myself. The migraines had also disappeared all of a sudden. The migraines disappeared in that time. So then on that day, as I've told you, that I didn't notice that it was an awakening. I didn't notice that I was having an awakening. I just found out recently, that actually that same period, that exact period, I was having an awakening, and that's when I realized everything made sense. So the third thing I can talk about, what happens now, that is like the first few days after the awakening. The next thing, actually, even on the very first day of the awakening, what you will notice, if you're somebody out there who is having an awakening, what you will notice also is you will see, you will start to realize that there is another dimension of things that you didn't know about. There were so many things, you know what I mean? So you're going to realize that for some reason you're going to start getting exposed to a new reality of things, you know what I mean? You're going to learn a new language. You're going to learn all these words that you've never known before. You're going to feel like there are some things you can see, you know what I mean? You're going to have that thing of intuition, very, very high sense of intuition, whereby you will start to think that actually there is some things you just know, you know, somebody doesn't have to tell you anything, you just know anyway. So you just know the things, and you are going to be exposed to a very new dimension of things, whereby you are going to realize that there is so much information you are getting exposed to that you actually never knew existed before. But the whole reason behind that is that when you're moving to the 5D, the fifth dimension state of consciousness, it's like you leave everything behind. So all what happens is that when you're moving to the 5D, you leave everything you've been learning before, you've learned before, or you've ever known before all your lifetime, and you start learning new things. You unlearn the things from your old self, and you start learning new things from the new dimension, which is the 5D state of consciousness. So the language is going to change, because there are going to be new terms. You will start to use new terms of so sometimes even people around you will be very confused, you know what I mean? So I remember for me myself, the very first time I was starting to learn all these things, I was like, wow, what is this world I'm entering? What is this new? What is this world I'm entering? What is this new state of things I'm learning. So I was starting like to learn new things, you know what I mean? I was starting to learn new things. I was starting to get exposed to a new dimension of things, and I was really happy about it. But I was a bit worried as well, because I noticed that I didn't know how was I going to explain actually to my friends, because I realized that actually there was a very big shift happening in my life, and I didn't know how was I going to explain this to my friends, family. How was I going to explain to them what was happening to me? It was a bit scary for me in that time. I didn't know how am I going to explain to them what is happening, because they would never understand it, and because even me myself in that time I couldn't understand that situation, you know what I mean? So basically all I can say is that 5D is a very big shift. It's a very big shift to move from the 3D to the 5D, because the whole language, the whole things you know, everything you ever known to be true, all these things about religion you've ever known, the religions you've always known, the churches you've been going to, you're all going to realize that actually everything has always been a lie, because everything is going to become, you will start seeing things for exactly what they are, and you will know that, okay, now I've already been in the life for a very long time, and now it's time for me to to live the new reality, and get out from that old version of things. Another thing I wanted to explain, when you're shifting to the 5D state of consciousness, you're going to realize that for the most of the time, the people you've been dealing with, for the most of people like friends, sometimes even families, you've been having a lot of fake friends around you. You've been having a lot of people who are not of your highest good, people who are like just in there to see what's going on with you, just to suck the hell out of you, to suck emotions out of you, to drain your finances, to drain your emotions, to drain your energy. So you're going to realize that actually most of the people who have been around you when you used to be in the 3D, all the people who were around you, even sometimes even your partners, they were not of your highest good. So there was not anybody in your highest good. All those people were just there like pictures. They were like robots just moving around you, and just pretending to be your friends. But in actual sense, when you plug out of the 3D and you move to the 5D state of consciousness, you're going to realize that all those people actually, they were most of them, not all, but most of them, they were not of your highest good, and most of them actually, you also realize that they were wearing a mask. So when you move to that dimension now, that's when you're going to realize that actually you are able to psychologically unmask all these people that have been in your circles, and they're not of your highest good. You're going to realize that actually you can see them for who they are, and you're also going to be able to use your intuition to know that so and so and so and so person is good for me, and so is not good for me. So by just way of intuition, and just by knowing, definitely you're going to know that actually there's some people you need to get rid of. Sometimes you don't have a choice. It can be painful to get rid of friends you've always known in your life, but you're going to realize that actually is the best thing for you, and you're going to start getting rid of people. People will start living your life. Some of them, they will notice that there's something changed in you, and they will just plug out of your life automatically. But some of them, you will just have to do it physically, because they will keep on hanging around you and believing that you're the same person they used to know yesterday or the other week. But still, they will somehow you're going to know that these people, they're not good for you, and they're not of your highest good, and they don't have your back, and they don't have your interest. So even sometimes families. So but anyhow, you're going to realize that at that time, all those people are going to plug out of your life, and they're going to live your life. And definitely it is by way of intuition, because when you get to that 5D level of consciousness, you can see the 3D for what it is. You know what I mean? So it's like, for example, when you're on the surface level of things, you cannot see what is ahead of you. So, but for you to be able to see what is ahead of you, you have got to fly a little bit higher for you to be able to have a bird's eye view of everything below you and below the surface, and you'll be able to see everything for what it is, something what you cannot see when you're in the third dimension. So when you move to the 3D, it is psychologically that level whereby you're going to see people for who they are. Sometimes you don't have to even explain; they don't have to explain to you nothing. Either way, you just get into that state of knowing and intuition, and you just know and know that this person is okay, this one is not. So you're just going to notice that a lot of friends are falling away from you, because a lot of fake friends, they're going to be exposed. Most of the fake friends who have been in your circles, sometimes people who have been taking advantage of you, sometimes even women, even men who have been taking advantage of you, cheating on you, or sometimes even stealing your money, or sometimes even gossiping, doing everything about you. You're going to be able to see exactly those people, who are they, and you're going to be able to understand them for who they are, because you're going to psychologically remove that mask they have always been wearing on their faces, and you're going to have to discard a lot of people. So when you see people falling out of your circle, you have to know that that is just because it has nothing to do with you as a person. It is something happening with the energies. The energies are shifting, and you're able to psychologically undress, or rather to remove those false masks that those people around you they have been wearing all along, and they have been using to manipulate you and to play with you. So you're going to fall out with a lot of people. Another thing, what you realize, a symptom of awakening, what I can call a symptom of awakening, you're going to realize that the jobs you've been doing. I remember for myself, in my own case, in my own situation, few days prior to my awakening, I remember starting to hate my job. So I would go to work and I would feel very bad about the job. I would be like, oh my God, why am I even here? I would just be at the job, but I would be I would be like feeling very bad about the job. I was like, I really didn't like the place. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't like the place, but at the same time, I didn't know what I need to do. You know what I mean? I didn't know what I had to do, what steps I need to take. So I didn't know what to do next. So I was like, wow, what am I going to do with this? So anyhow, I noticed that at the end of the day, I didn't like my job. So when I got my awakening finally, I was able to make my final decisions, and I got out of my job. And now, I'm thinking about other different things, because I prefer to do something actually, and I'm actually doing something which is actually making me happy, and also at the same time fulfilling me and making me feel complete and happy as well. So the jobs also, most of the time when you're shifting to the 5D, you're going to realize that you're hating the jobs. Most of the jobs you're doing, they're no longer serving you because you don't feel good when you're in there. So most of the jobs you're having, they're going to fall out. You're going to fall out with the jobs. You're going to fall out with the bosses. You're going to fall out with the managers. And then also another symptom, what I can talk about, you're going to realize that you will be able to understand that you cannot, you're going to start feeling that you need time alone. It's another symptom I can talk about. So you're going to realize that actually there's that period whereby you need time by yourself. When you're by yourself, you feel very happy, because when you're by yourself, you can accomplish a lot of things, you can do a lot of things, you can go here, you can go there, you can achieve you can perform a lot of tasks by when you're by yourself. And then you're going to realize that also you need a lot of peace and silence and serenity to do a lot of, and to achieve a lot of things that you could have never done before, because normally when you're in that life before, in the 3D dimension of reality, you're running up and down, and it's like you're running robot. You know what I mean? You just wake up, put your shoes, run to work, go to the bus, catch the bus, do this, you're like running on some sort of a program. But when you move to the 5D, that's when you realize that actually now you're doing things consciously, and you need to calm down a bit and slow down a bit and do things consciously. So you're going to realize that actually you need so much time alone, and as much as, yes, sometimes you may need dating, sometimes you may want to date something, or maybe see a girl here or two, but sometimes you will also struggle to stay in a relationship, because if you stay in a relationship, you're going to realize that actually the relationship is slowing you down, because the real reason of the awakening is to move you to your higher purpose, and to move you out of that old version of you, to move you to a better version of you. So definitely you're going to realize that when you're with people, sometimes they're slowing you down. Even if you're with a girlfriend, sometimes with a boyfriend, sometimes you're going to realize that you've separated on the wavelengths, and you're not vibrating at the same wavelength with each other, and sometimes you're going to feel the need to move on and to carry on with your life by yourself. So most of the time you're going to realize that actually there's that phase of the loneliness whereby you're going to be very lonely, and most of the time you will not be feeling bad about it, because you're going to realize that actually when you're lonely, you can do a lot of things. You can go here, you can do that, you can do this, you can improve on yourself, you can work on yourself, you can all these things. So you're going to realize that when you're alone, you're actually even more happy than when you're with people. You know what I mean? So you don't need anybody to validate you or something, to be around your circles or something like that. I don't know if I've made the list exploitative, if there's something I've not forgotten. Yeah, also you're going to realize that when you've awakened, you're going to realize that you're losing a lot of interest. One of the symptoms you're going to realize is that you're moving to 5D. When you awaken and you move to the 5D state of consciousness, you're going to realize that you hate, I don't know if I can use the word you hate, or maybe you dislike or you don't like, but for me, I used to hate TV. I didn't used to like TV. I would wake up in the morning and I would switch on TV, and I'd be like, oh my God, everything is too boring. You cannot stand the news, you cannot stand the movies, people killing each other, you cannot stand. There's so many things you cannot stand on TV, because when you move to that level of consciousness, on the 5D level of consciousness, you realize that actually you are more into the spiritual part of you, and people of things of your highest good, and people that you are into, very much into things that benefit and serve humanity. So most of those things that are in the very low vibrational things and low dimensional things, you're going to realize that you're plugging out of those things. So TV is one of them, definitely. You realize that the TV doesn't serve you anymore, and you're just opting for other things. Instead of TV, you just prefer to go do something else. Guys, I think there may be a lot of things that will happen, but for me in my journey, those are some of the things happened when I was moving from the 3D to the 5D. It has taken me a while to talk about this because I just didn't know how to express it out there. But at the same time, because I used to have a very, very huge circle of friends before, even family sometimes. So I didn't know, how can I explain this? How will people understand me? How can I be able to identify myself on this level of consciousness? But later on, I realized that yes, actually, I need to talk about it because so many people, there's a global awakening happening, and a lot of people are going to go through this. They're going to see these symptoms and signs, and they need to get ready when they are, So that's why I decided to be more authentic in my videos, be more authentic, and to say things the way they are, so that if anybody out there goes through an awakening, they will see some of these symptoms or signs, and these things will resonate with them, and they will have to know what to do with themselves as well. So guys, that being said, I love you all, guys. It's been a pleasure sharing with you and having you guys on board. Desmos Unscripted. Till then, see you again in another video. Desmos signing out, guys. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, if you do that, please push that notification button, because I'm here Monday to Friday. I drop one video a day, so those are 5 videos a week, which is Monday to Friday. And then you might want to make sure that you don't miss my videos, because I touch a lot of topics, including relationships, sometimes spirituality, sometimes law of attraction. So there's a lot of things I talk about, and very, very interesting subjects, and some things that you don't want to miss. So if you push that notification button, you will also make sure that my content comes straight to your phone when I put it out there. Other than that, guys, it's been a really big and nice pleasure to have you guys on board. Desmos signing out, and see you in the next video. Peace and bless.